UGC NET Linguistics. Today's topic: Sociolinguistics. Sociolinguistics, the branch of linguistics which studies the relationship between language and society. Study of variation in language, or more precisely, of variation within speech communities. Variation is an integral and essential part of language. The term sociolinguistics by T.C. Hudson in 1939. Sociolinguistics, T.C. Hudson, 1939. Sociolinguistics, T.C. Hudson, 1939. Sociolinguistics, T.C. Hudson, 1939. It was used independently in 1952 by Haver Curie. Independently used in 1952 by Haver Curie. Haver Curie. Language and Society. Sociolinguistics by Jacobson. Language and Society, Jacobson. Language and Society, Jacobson. Jacobson gave 6 functions of language. 6 functions of language by Jacobson. 6 functions of language by Jacobson. Jacobson, 6 functions of language. 6 functions of language, Jacobson. First, referential function. 2, emotive function. 3, conative function. 4, poetic function. 5, phatic function. 6, metalingual function. Referential function, describing. Referential function, describing. Language facilitates a person to describe what one sees, what happens around, what one feels. Description of place, event, or state. Referential function, description of place, event, or state. Referential function for description of place, event, or state. Emotive function, it causes one express strong emotions for or against something. It expresses emotions. Emotive function, expression of emotions. Emotive function, expression of emotions. Conative function, commanding. Conative function, commanding. Conative function, commanding. Conative function, commanding. One often uses imperatives to give commands to someone. For example, don't touch, it's dangerous, go on, open it. Poetic function, choosing words wisely, lexical choice. Poetic function, lexical choice. How careful are we when we speak? The choice of words to be eloquent. Selection of words to convey message effectively. Fatigue function, a skill of engaging with the people. Fatigue function, a skill of engaging with the people. Engagement with the people. To make small talks such as on weather, traffic, etc. with unknown people or co-passengers. Metalingual function, analyzing language beyond language. Uses of language to describe the language you have just learned. One escapes one's mother tongue and fully immersed oneself in the target language. Three meta functions of language. Mac Halliday. Mac Halliday, three meta functions of language. Mac Halliday gave three meta functions of language 1972. Mac Halliday 1972, three meta functions of language. Three meta functions of language. Mac Halliday 1972. Function, the role language plays in the society. Function, role played by language in society. Meta function, beyond the function as told by Jacobson. Three meta functions of language. Mac Halliday 1972. 1. Ideational function. 2. Interpersonal function. 3. Textual function. 1. Ideational function. We use language to talk about our experiences of the world, including our inner world, to describe events, state, and entities involved. It encodes relation between man and nature, the capacity of forming ideas. 2. Interpersonal function. Language is used to interact with others, to establish and maintain relations with them, to please or influence their behavior. 5 wives and 1 husband. 5 wives who, where, why, what, whom, how. 5 wives describes how to behave. Textual function, the stage which. Textual function, the stage when ideas are encoded in an unified manner, when ideas are fit logically in a way like a texture. Dialect, language variation. Dialect, language variation. Language variation, dialect. Dialect, language variation. Dialects are semi-permanent language variety of language. Dialects keep on changing but structure intact. Dialect varies mainly according to geographical region and social class. Dialect varies according to age, gender, situation, etc. Accent accounts for dialect variation in relation to pronunciation. Lect, variation in language. LECT, suffix in dialect, stands for variation in language. Idiolect, variation in language from person to person. Idiolect, variation in language from person to person. Sociolect, variation in language from one society to another society. Sociolect, associated with a particular social class. Ethnolect, from one ethnicity to other. Variation in language from one ethnicity to other, associated with a particular ethnic group. Regionolect, variation in language from one region to another. A regional dialect may be termed as regionolect. Note: dialect, variety of the same language. Matures with other varieties of the same language. Same structure. There are 23 official languages in India. 23 official languages in India. 23 official languages in India. India does not have Hindi as national language. Hindi not a national language. Bihar pronounces Hindi as official language for the first time in 1831. Bihar pronounces Hindi as official language for the first time in 1831. Jargons. Overly complex and difficult. Negative connotations. To confuse or intimidate. Technical language of a profession. Difficult for outsiders to understand. For example, language used by engineers, doctors, advocates, etc. Argot, secret language of a group such as thieves, dacoits, criminals, terrorists, etc. Cant is another word for argot. Cant in England, argot in USA. Slang, non-standard language. Slang, overly casual language, not giving respect in polite society. For example, buck, slang, dollar, copper, police officer. Taboo, forbidden language, words. Taboo, considered coarse or inappropriate in social discourse. For example, sex, obscene gestures. Standard dialect, a variety of language that is used by government in media, in school, and for inter-nation communities. Note: linguists don't find any difference between high standard or low standard languages. Note: linguists do not find any difference between high standard or low standard languages. Standard variety of language can't be a language. Standard variety of a language is itself a dialect. Note: Hindustani language, Hindi plus Urdu plus Parsi, propounded by Amir Khusro, 14th century. Pidgin, Pidgin, not a language. Pidgin, only a medium to express. Pidgin, not a native language, not a mother tongue, not a common language. Pidgin, it involves among adult native speakers of different languages. When two or more adult speakers don't understand one another's language, they borrow words from one another language and develop a common language. This common language is called pidgin. Register, minute to minute variation in the same language on the same day. Register, minute to minute variation in the same language on the same day. Register, minute to minute variation in the same language on the same day. When a person varies language from one situation to another many times in the same day. Register changes as per medium, domain, or tenor. Medium, domain, tenor. Changes register. Mac Halliday. Mac Halliday. A person switches within one variety of the language to another. Mac Halliday says, a person switches within one variety of language to another. Switches from one dialect to another of the same language minute to minute on the same day. Register. Register when a person switches from one dialect to other of the same language minute to minute on the same day. Example: you talk to your inmates casually or in your own dialect, but you switch to standard dialect as somebody of high status appears before you. Factors that influence register. Factors that influence register, or can say register changes as per the three factors. Register changes as per three factors: medium, domain, tenor. Medium, written mode, oral mode. Domain, subject matter, content. The language of advertising, language of government. Tenor, style, situation. How politely or formally you speak. Changes when you are talking or writing too. Register changes according to the social situation you find yourself in. Register changes according to the social situation you find yourself in. Thank you very much.